All right, man. So look, we are back for another episode of the Coach's Corner, man, and we got a special guest like this. Now, I need y'all to know this guy. This guy is my guy. I've been looking forward to this one. This guy is one of the smartest guys that I know. He looks like he's about 98 years old with the gray hairs, but he's young. He's vibrant. He knows so many things about the college space, recruiting. With founding RPA College to move into his new space now, as you guys can see, man. Welcome to the show, Reggie. I need you to be real. I need you to be raw. I need you to be authentic. And when we answer these, or when I ask these most commonly asked questions, and when we get into the stuff, let them know the truth. Let them know what this thing is really, what it's really like, what's going on in the space, man. But before we do all that, introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know who you are, where you're from, your whole background.
Yeah, man. Reggie Calhoun Jr. Originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I played ball in Louisiana. My journey through college and high school was unique, but it was for me. I moved to Dallas when I graduated college. I started a training company, and I started doing some post-grad assistance, and that created me a prep school, which assisted high school athletes transitioning from high school to college. Then I started getting more into like the business side of like the branding, the marketing, which now is the NIL space. And then now my current role today, outside of being an entrepreneur, I'm the director of operations and business development for the Colorado Collective. So what that looks like is, I take all of my years of experience and placed it into a massive situation. But nah, man. So my overall goal is always to help the next athletes get to where they're trying to go.
Man, I love it. So look, now number one questions I always get from parents is the recruiting portion. I was like, why is my son not doing this? What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? Then the ones that are highly recruited ask about the NIL space and all that. So maybe you can clarify to them, like, man, what does this thing really look like? How is it really broken down for the high school kid and all that? So look, when we get into it, man, like the first things first, let's talk about recruiting. What is going on in the world of recruiting, right? You got guys who, let's say 7 years ago, would be the top recruits in the country. They're barely even getting looked at now. You're looking at, I got a couple guys that may have to go to FCS level just to be able to transfer up to the D1 level. Man, what does the recruiting space look like? What do parents need to do? How do they need to go about the process? From the seat that you're in now, what would you tell those parents?
Truly understand that recruiting is based around data, right? Because you just mentioned having to go to FCS, right? And you have to go that route simply because I don't know if you guys know about PFF, right? So PFF, it captures every game that an athlete plays. So when it comes to recruiting, I don't want to watch your high school film. I want to see you against college talent, right? So for me to see you against college talent, I got to watch you in a college game. And, the FCS games are recorded so we can watch each play. And I'm saying we because once I found out about PFF, I started using it and started just seeing like who was who. You may think that huddle is the way to send your film out, but a lot of these schools aren't using huddle, right? Like we're talking professional level data analytics where it's like we're gonna grade you out every play, every game, every rep. Like we don't want to see your highlights. We want to see like the game. Right. And it's kind of hard for a high school athlete to get that much data on themselves and like track that many plays because they haven't learned how to watch film. So you don't even know what to put into your highlight.
Right.
And so what I would tell a parent, man, is really you have to track the stats that matter, right? When we say explosive plays, like there's a filter on PFL, right? Explosive plays. And explosive plays, any play over 10 yards, right?
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, my son has those things. Well, in that explosive play, did you look explosive?
Right. Okay. Address that, please. All right. So before we get any further, talk about what you mean by explosive. Okay. So from an evaluation standpoint, from a college coaches / evaluator standpoint, what does that mean?
So if I'm watching a kid play and he says, this is an explosive play, that's like a big huddle little clip, right? It's a little explosive play. And I watch it. And the way you change gears in that explosive play. If you didn't make everybody around you look slow, that's not an explosive play.
Yeah.
Right? That was a
Yeah.
big play. Kudos. But if I go and turn on the film of your counterpart and his 10-yard run looks like he hit 10 yards in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Yes, mom, dad, they both had 10-yard runs. They both had 80-yard bursts to go score a touchdown. But the way that 80-yard touchdown looked,
yeah,
totally different, right? Because at the collegiate level, the holes don't need to be that big. So that means you got to get through it faster.
Right.
So if you're not exploding through the hole, and by the time you get to the second level, the safety has already come down and made a play, you're not that explosive. Right? So when we're watching film, it's like, yeah, he has 22 touchdowns, but out of them 22, he had 4 game-changing plays. It's not looking too good. It's not looking.
I knew I should have never called you because see you giving too much info, and now I'm gonna have 88 million questions. Okay, all right. So let's get into this. So we're talking about the PFF being able to break down. You need to see them against college level talent. All right, there's a couple things. So if I'm a parent, my first question is, well, how the heck do I get my son out there then? Now, here's the one thing that I love and why I wanted to get you on, because you're big on the branding space, the content space, and all that. How can Because what I got out of the explosive play, for example, was the first thing that came to mind was advertise. How can I advertise myself to this school? All right, so if you're talking to the parent, you're talking to the player. Hey, man, I know I got the ability. I know I need to be seen. What does the advertisement look like? What would attract me to you? What would you tell them?
Do the pre-work that a scout would do, right? So if I know I'm class of 2025 and the best people in this class are ranked this, I'm gonna go watch their film. I'm gonna get a cut up of their film and do a side-by-side comparison or an analysis of where I measure up against this player, right? And although that's a lot of work, it's tedious work, but if you understand what piggybacking means, right? If I already know this guy is getting offers and he's already ranked top 50, well, I'm going to piggyback off of his leverage and tag the fact or hashtag the top running back's name. And every time they go look up him on Twitter,
that's good.
My stuff comes up too. And I've already given you a brief analysis on why I feel I'm comparable to him. Now, will that work? Who knows? But at least you did the work to say my stats are comparable. That don't matter. Let's turn the film on. Everything he did, I did too.
Well, you break hearts, dog. You say, hey man, you saying too much, bro. I wish my parents was here right now. I wish we were in a big conference room doing this Zoom call. You just said your stats don't matter.
No.
Okay.
It's like, cause look.
Go ahead.
Put it like this: 1,000-yard rusher at a 2A school in the middle of Montana.
Yep.
What does that do for a Power 5?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, right. I ain't got no argument. Yeah.
Cool. Like great high school career. But I can put my expertise on it that if you went to a Division II, you wouldn't eat clips 300 yards. Because the talent level is just going to be all the way up there. So, we just got to start being more realistic that the high school stats are irrelevant due to the level of coaching. And it's no disrespect to the high school guys, but the level of coaching in high school isn't what it is at the college level, and not because of the talent. It's just the philosophy, the scheme, and there's not 200 athletes trying to get coached. And most of the time, the talent level isn't that far off. In high school, you got guys like this their first year playing, and you got guys who've been playing for 5 years. Like it's like so the difference. So if I'm a coach a kid, I want to do it the fastest way possible and say, okay, look, y'all just do this. Guard him. Don't let him score. No rhyme or reason. No scheme. No nothing. We're just saying do this, right? So that actually it doesn't help you because if a college scout was really like trying to be a butthole and they throw
Yeah.
you on the board and say, hey, tell me what scheme is this? What is a cover
Yes.
two when they go trips? How does the drops?
Right.
If
How
they
do you
want to be an asshole, right?
how did the drops change? What's that backside safety doing on the single side?
And
How do we
that's
handle it? Yep. Mm-hmm.
and that'll hurt their heart, right? And that's why
Yep.
I say like FCS isn't a bad route to take, but D2 isn't a bad route to take either.
Right.
And if you think about going JUCO, you have to look at JUCO in a 3-year span. Your first year, you get acclimated.
Okay.
The second year, you play,
Okay.
and you're trying to get out because you want to get on to a 4-year school to prove that what you did at the JUCO actually matches up. Because JUCO is not going to get recruited like that either. So JUCO, look at JUCO as your route, as let me test the waters to see if I'm really like that.
You're the first one that's told me Juco in a 3-year span. You're the first one that's told me that.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it from that perspective. Is it really changing that much as far as how you're looking for the transfers, evaluating high school talent? Is Juco almost out of the mix at this point?
Yeah, bro. Like, I created RPA, right? And
Yep. Yep.
I saw the wave coming, right? So everything pushed back.
Yep.
So now you got D2s and FCS is technically like your JUCO. It's almost like your JUCO ground. So I'm gonna go to the FCS schools first to get a proven kid because a JUCO kid really isn't a proven athlete.
Right.
He's not a proven athlete, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So he's a developmental athlete. So I'm not gonna go take a developmental athlete and give him a scholarship when I can go get a kid who's already proven to be ready to at least do something
Yeah.
at this level, right?
Yeah.
So you have to look at JUCO as a developmental deal, which is what they should have been from jump, right? Other developmental league. But because of the NCAA rules and the eligibility and stuff, it was an easier way to go get back eligible. But now there's no test score requirements, and you need a 2.3.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
who's actually ineligible? So why am I going JUCO? So if you're really ineligible and have to go to JUCO out of high school, that's already a red flag. That means you bullshitted around.
Right.
And
Yep.
already a red flag. If you have to go to JUCO because of your grades, it was once a thing.
Say
Now
man.
it's not.
I might not need to put this on YouTube, dog. Because y'all already getting up press as it. Oh, these parents gonna eat this up. I might just have to send this privately to the parents. Hey, man, y'all need to watch this. All right, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you this. All right. Ooh, there's so many questions I want to ask you. Oh my goodness. All right. Player development. Okay. I tell my parents all the time, your skill set needs to be able to translate to the next level. Okay. All right. So when you talk about player development, when it comes to college level, it don't matter Colorado, whatever school you at. How important is the skill set when you're breaking down the evaluation process? All right. So we're going deeper on the evaluation process, but when we talk about the overall skill set, whether you're a skill position player or offensive lineman, defensive lineman, quarterback, whatever, how do you guys evaluate that? And how do you look at that kid and say, okay, what he has today can be groomed to make us successful when he gets here? How is that broken down?
So I'm not on the recruiting side here. So my job is not even with athletics, right? So I don't do any recruiting or scouting here. But from an evaluation side, if I'm looking at a player and he's in high school, okay, straight line running, okay, that's good.
Okay.
But can you really run routes? Right?
Yep.
And when you're saying running routes, it's not just doing the it's understanding windows, it's understanding timing, it's understanding what a cornerback is doing, it's understanding what the drops the linebacker is doing. Are you boundary side? Are you field side? Because when you get to college, and some offensive schemes might say, we're gonna run all of our jailbreaks in the boundary. If you don't know what the boundary is,
that's a problem.
now I gotta teach you that. So we gotta look at it from a standpoint of I'm at the next level, right? So the next level means you already have some skill sets. Do you really want to waste time trying to coach a kid on the foundational knowledge?
Yep.
Right? I don't care if you run a 4.2. running the 4.2 means nothing to me if you don't know what we're going opposite of a 3 tech.
straight up.
Like,
hey, go get me on my rant, man. Do you know the 3 tech? Do you know what a 2 high looks? You know, a single high look, man. Well, we can talk for days on this. I've had kids that come in my program from high level high school, current perennial state championship contending high schools that don't know what the dig is. They don't know. They don't know the 5. They don't know. Hell, if you even call it 2, they don't know what that is. Referring to like the slant. I'm like, how do y'all not know? That's basic.
It's basic. It's
How
basic.
How do you not know?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you look at a QB and mechanic wise, I'm not a mechanic guy. But if I ask you, can you read on the fly, and you say yes, I say give me an example, and you say, well, if they're 2 high and they roll to 1 high, I can read that. Okay, that don't matter. But what y'all's route combinations on the fly when they roll down?
When they roll
high, what are you throwing now? What's the first read? Right? Because if your first read was the slant in cover 2 and they switch into cover 4.
Cover 4, yep.
On the fly.
With the wall player in the hole. Mm-hmm.
What's the read? And if you can't say that off the rip, it's going to be difficult for you to get the playbook.
Man, it's something as simple as even counting the box. They don't understand the concept of counting the box. They say, man, it's overloaded to one side. It's just funny, man. That's going to help a lot of people, man. So let me ask you this. All right, so now we talked about that. We got a little bit into that portion. What should they be doing? Should they be going to camp? Should they be DMing guys on coaches on Twitter all day? How do I get myself out there? I know that I can play. I know I'm a D1 level guy, blase. How do I get myself out there? What do I need to be doing as a player or parent?
I would do this, right? So a schedule. So if I know what all the camps are, right? Okay. The first 2 camps I'm going to are going to be like low-level camps. Like I'm going to pay to go to a Division 3 camp. Okay. I'm going to pay to go to a D2 camp. Why? I get to evaluate myself first. Like my 40 might have been trash at the D3 camp. I might have went to the D2 camp and got bodied. Okay. Yep. My first time experiencing talent can't be at the Division 1 camp. It cannot be that. So I'm gonna say, okay, my first 2 are throwaways. And I'm gonna take my notes. Mom and dad, y'all gotta take notes. Do not go to those camps and look for an offer.
Yep. Right? Yep.
And when I go to my Division 1 camp, I'm treating it like the combine. Okay. Right? Yep. Then I'm gonna go to one more before school starts. That's my pro day. So after I've done all of that, I'm going into my last camp. It's pro day time. Now I got my solid numbers. Boom. During the season, I'm breaking it up into 3s. So my first 3 games, sending them out. Okay. My next 3, I'm sending them out, but I'm making a highlight. Okay. Then by the time game 7 hits, I should have a full analysis of my season. Because we already know if we're going to playoffs or not. Yeah. We already know.
You're right. By that point,
We already know, right? So I don't have to wait till game 10 to start sending out my film.
Right.
I'm setting up because then that rolls right into recruiting season.
Yeah.
It rolls right into it. So when they show up, when a coach comes, you can actually hand them all the things you've done from June to October.
That's beautiful.
And you save the coach so much time. And if you save enough time, all of the hoopla on Twitter about make your bio cute and all that stuff, yes, great. Yeah. But if you can hand a coach like, yo, here's what I did this summer.
That's good, bro.
Says games, they're going to remember that more than what your Twitter profile was.
Right, that's good, man. That's good, dog. Boy, you giving away free game, boy. I like that. I like that in 3s. I thought about it in like half the season, first 5, then the second half. I like that though, boy. And then so basically, you're just saying for parents, if parents are listening, what if you break it down to simplest form, come up with a plan. You're looking at let's say a 6-month plan. If you just let's say May, whatever, let's go May to October. You're talking about there's a plan that you need to have from May to October as far as strategically with the camps, rolling into the football season, and being able to have your resume, whether it's digital or however it is, to be able to send out. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And
Hey,
that's just kind of what you need. Like it's a lot of work.
yeah.
And people don't want to do it, right? Everybody wants to throw out a video. I can't decipher a 2A school in Louisiana
Yep.
and a 5A school in Texas. I can't look
Okay.
at the film and say this is a JV game or this is a varsity game.
Oh.
Because they say the crowd or the stadium, right? Well, in Louisiana, they don't have half the stadium that a Texas school has.
Right.
So if I'm
Exactly.
watching a Louisiana kid and I'm like, the crowd really ain't that packed. The cheerleaders, they only got 3. So this must be a JV game.
JV
No,
game.
this is actually a varsity game, but it's in the middle of nowhere. So you got to also be real, like where you live at. Like if I know I'm in like God knows where, right?
Right.
I cannot expect a coach to turn the film on and understand this is what he's looking at.
This is good.
But if you give him a precursor, hey, look, coach, this is where I'm from. My population is this much. I play varsity. We are a 2A school. Population is 900 at the school. These are our games. Now I got a mindset. Okay, this is why the talent level looks like this.
That's good, man. Ooh, that's good, bro. Ooh, that's good, Reggie. Reggie, that's good, dog. You got me over here thinking like, all right, I got to switch some stuff up, man. So look, so check it out. All right, man. So I'm a high school kid. I'm a high school coach. What is the recruiting process for the high school kid now? All right, now we're not just talking about Colorado. We're talking about just D1 period. Okay, everybody wants to go D1, so let's talk D1. What is that? Is everything sped up 2 years? Is it okay? Like I've heard from multiple coaches, 60, 20, 20, like with the transfers to the grad transfers to the high school, some 70, 30, whatever. Right? I've heard it all over the spectrum. In a general form, if we're just generalizing all of Division I football. All right, let's go Power 4, whatever. If we're generalizing, what does that look like for a kid? What is the timeline for a kid and a parent? When should I expect to be hearing something? If I don't hear something by this time, does that mean I'm lower level? How would you break that down?
Man, if this was like 2 years ago, I probably would have had a solid, legit answer.
Okay.
But I'll say, if you haven't made contact with a coach by your junior season,
like the start of your junior.
Yeah, like I'm talking like
okay.
Like May, June of the summer before your junior season starts. If you haven't made contact with a Power 4 program, we should be start making these plans on FCS, D2, and putting together like a plan. Like, oh, you know what? This has to be my roadmap. Right? Like, it has to be my roadmap.
Okay.
And if you really like that, right? If you really have that skill set, and you go sit down with an FCS school and you say, look, coach, I want to come here. This is my goal. I want to hit 1,000 yards receiving. Want to have at least like 4 touchdowns, and I want to leverage the fact that I came here to go to a bigger school, right? I don't know many coaches who will fight what this reality is if you're talking about coming and being productive.
Right.
But if you're showing up to the FCS on some, I don't even want to be here, I'm really supposed to be at blah, blah, blah. Well, now you're a cancer. You won't get the stats you need, which means you're a bust, which means you ain't going to the Power 4 anyway.
Oof.
But if you go and you be honest with the coach and say, look, man, I'm coming here. I want to give y'all 110%. But my ultimate goal is to go here.
Right? And we know up front. If I'm successful here, that means I go up there. As a coach, all right, cool. That means I'm winning here too. I'm trying to get up there too.
That means I'm winning here.
Right.
So if you're coming in and you're talking business, like coach, like, look, I'm going to give y'all 1 good one. I might give y'all 2. But ultimately, I'm going to buy.
All right. So that poses another question. All right. So I'm a high school coach. All right. Let's say I have a son. All right, my son's getting ready to graduate. He's choosing, and we got to go to FCS route. How do I decipher what FCS school to go to? Do I prioritize development? Do I prioritize this coach having coached at Auburn, Alabama previously, so he got the relationship with the next set of coaches? What do I need to prioritize if I'm going to a school?
Schedule, exposure first, right? Go look at their schedule for the next three years. Like if I'm a junior,
Love it.
then that means I'm not leaving for 2 more years, right? So that means if it's 2024 now, so in 2027, what FCS schools are under contract to play a big Power 5?
That's good.
So now I'm mapping that out. Like, oh, okay. Like even being here, right, at CU.
Yep.
They're opening up with North Dakota State.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Come on. Right?
You can't ask. It's gonna be cameras everywhere, bro. At least let's say 5 million minimum. Let's just go let's go minimum. 5 million.
Come on. So if I'm looking at it from the standpoint of advertisement, marketing, recruiting, and big game.
Yep.
Because development, a lot of these high school kids think they want development, but they don't. They want somebody to hold their hand. And don't have time for that. So now if you go to a North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Montana State, and they playing these big money games, and you show up and you say, Coach, look, man, this is my goal, right? Y'all play 10 games, means I got to get at least 100 yards a game.
Yep.
And if I play receiver, I know y'all don't pass. I can't come because my goal is to do this.
Right.
I love the school though, but my goal is to do this, right? And
good,
as a high school parent, you got to stop chasing the names and chase the plan.
Thank you.
Because you can go anywhere. You can go to any program in America and do absolutely nothing. You can go and do nothing.
I hope they listening when I send this video out. I hope they listening. Dude, I've only been saying that to them. Hey man, go ahead.
Repeat this, right? So
yep.
I just got here, so I don't talk about the CCU stuff because I'm not on that side.
Right.
I need to make it clear. Don't hit me up. I do not do recruiting for CU. Don't call me.
Thank you. Thank you. Parents, don't ask me either, man.
I don't have no hookups. I don't know nobody. I'm just a guy doing something else. But seriously though, in high school, if I'm looking at my kid and I'm playing some fantasy football, and I know every kid in the state, right? Would I pick my kid?
Yeah, you know you're asking the wrong question, Reggie.
No, I'm asking the right one.
You know you're asking the wrong question, dog. Because you know what the answer is going to be.
If I'm about to build me a super team,
I
need to get the best kids.
Yep.
Where does my kid rank in the state? Not the city, in the state.
Yes.
Then I said, okay, so let's say he's number 10 in the state, in his position. Well, what is the state rank in the region?
That's good, bro. That's good. I'm still that one. I like that fantasy football one. That's a good one, dog.
Then it's like, okay, in the region, he top 100. Bet. What is he in the nation? And that's recruiting. A lot of folks think, well, my kid was all district, all state, Okay, but if your state is, and no knock to them, is Indiana.
Yep.
Ain't nobody playing no football in Indiana.
And might be 2 players in Indiana worth recruiting. Purdue and Indiana don't even recruit Indiana.
And they're going to local school. So if you look at it from that standpoint, let's keep it real, right? And even in Texas, if I'm not living in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, or Austin, it's probably going to be difficult for me to get on the radar of a national school. But I can get the radar of a regional. Texas has every level from Power 5 down to the Jucos.
Yep.
You got your choice. But you trying to chase some schools. But nah, if I was in high school and my parent was trying to get me seen, mom and dad would be in charge of tracking my stats.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I want to transition to this. So I've talked to coaches about the transfer portal. I've talked to former players, right? So I got a new, well, I guess you call it a show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing with all my former guys, right? Calling it the players, sir. Okay. They even talking about the transfer portal. But I don't think there's been one person that I've heard, and I could be ignorant to this, that talks about the transfer portal from a business perspective, not a player acquisition perspective like most coaches do. That's another reason why I wanted you on, because you're part of the football program per se, but you're really not. You are concerned about the business element.
Yeah.
So the transfer portal, that'll lead into the NIL questions I got. But from a business perspective, when it comes to the portal, what do guys need to know? Because I have some guys that are trying to go into the portal. They really don't have no plan. They don't know where they're going. I'm like, bro, what are you leaving a scholarship for on the table if you don't already? But anyway, what would you say to that? How would you break down the business, the what's the word I want? The business strategy, the business breakdown of the transfer portal to the college, from a college business perspective? What does that look like?
Man, so okay, and this is going to be a long story, right? It's going to be long. It's going to be long.
Let's do it.
Let's start with where you are now.
Yep.
What value are you adding to your team right now? You say you were a dog. Let's say you're a linebacker, right? You're a linebacker. You're a Will.
Yep.
And you say, well, I had all of these tackles, but in the conference, your defense is ranked at the bottom.
Yeah.
You had no value
That's good.
on
That's
that
good.
team, right?
That's good.
Then you say, well, my stats were better than the guy who got all conference. Okay. Your stats were better than the guy who got all conference. Okay. Are y'all both seniors? Or are you a freshman and he's a senior? Because to understand what all conference means, it's the conference is voting on people who they know. So it's like, it ain't, all conference is weird, right? It's kind of like one of them things where you kind of like don't know that the people really be voting, right? Almost like the All-Star game, right? Okay, so I gotta have value for my team. And if your coach is willing to let you go,
that ought to tell you something.
Now,
my fault, man. Let me contain myself. Go ahead, dog. My bad.
That ain't the end all be all, right? Because sometimes you may have outgrown your program.
Right.
So you're gonna go leave. You've graduated, so you've gotten out of what you went there for. You graduated, cool. But if you were a productive All-American and you're gonna transfer, that means you have some value in the marketplace.
Yep.
That's a different story than a kid who just says, I was here, I didn't get no playing time, I'm leaving.
Yep.
And you're on scholarship, right? That's the craziest thing in the world, right? Because your scholarship for the D1 also comes with a stipend.
Right.
So you're about to leave guaranteed money.
Yep.
To go and chase potential money. And you're doing the high school thing all over again, where you're just like, whoever calls me.
Yeah.
Well, what is that? Okay. If somebody call you and say, yo, we want you to pull up, and you say, well, what are y'all offering me? You called us.
Yep.
We ain't call you.
Yep.
So,
yep.
And I'm saying us, speaking from a program like in general.
Yeah, right.
What are you offering the school? Hey, coach, I saw y'all linebacker averaged about 6-7 tackles a game. I was averaging 10. I see y'all run a 4-2-5. I come from a 4-1 box, but we can drop it into and now we're talking sports.
Yeah.
It gets their attention, right? But if you just like, yo, I was a 5-star in high school, I got signed to this school here, I ain't played much, they ain't used me to sign me. Bro, what my team's stacked.
Right.
We good. Now, if you can't come in here, if you can't come here and compete with anybody on my roster right now, why am I signing you? Right? Now, if I know that there's leverage. So on the business side, like, okay, if I'm leaving my current school to go to a different school, I see their roster. I'm a sophomore. Most of their rosters seniors.
Yeah.
Okay, coach, I'm willing to come and play a role with hopes of getting a scholarship the following year. I'm willing to come and
Right.
and bet. Because if you're trying to get into that mindset of I want to go to the league, well,
Yep.
sometimes you might show up undrafted. You might get a shot on a team where they sign you to a performance-based contract where you got to earn every dollar.
Yep.
It ain't no deal. You're gonna earn every dollar.
Every dollar. Yep.
So if you're getting in that mindset, start now. Like
Yeah.
you wait for them to give you a deal, but you are right now you're an undrafted free agent.
Boy, these nuggets, man. Okay. All right. So we talked about the value. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to frame this question. So we talked about the value that would attract you to a coach per se. Now, if we bring in the NIL element to it, all right, how do you measure value to a player? Okay, so everybody thinks that everybody's making crazy amount of money. There's certain cases where they are. All right, we understand the cases where they are. That ain't everybody. All right, how does the value of a player get measured now? Because I think the one thing that players have gotten lost in is what they think their value is. So you particularly know this is your expertise, your specialty. How do you do that? How do you put that measurement on the value of a player?
So first you got to separate NIL, right? So if we're talking name, image, and likeness, what's your brand? Your followers on Instagram, your reach, your engagement, your personality, like your interest. That's NIL. That's on you.
Right.
Like you got to get your own deals. Now, if we're talking collective organizations, boosters and stuff like that, well, that's dependent on the school. Like it ain't. You really have to understand, like, do I have a value to this team? And how bad do they want me? Right?
Yeah.
Because there's no number, right? There's no number on that. There's literally no formula on that. And I'm saying that because people are misconstruing what name, image, and likeness is and what a booster funded organization is.
Right.
And all boosters don't really understand football. So you may come and say, yo, I had 42 tackles and da 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 da. And they're like, okay.
What that mean?
Like, okay. But you can run into a collective that is led by people who really understand data. And they can say, compared to this guy over here, you're like number 7. So we're gonna offer you something, but we ain't gonna offer you what we would have offered. They would have got him.
Right.
So now you may think you're like you have leverage. You have zero leverage.
Zero leverage. Zero.
And this is the problem with the NIL space: is these kids think they have leverage that they really don't have. And it's like the NFL, right? There's not many rookies who coming in who got leverage.
No. There's levels to this thing. Yeah.
You're about to get what you get based on where you got to pick that. That's it.
It is what it is. Yep.
Now, if you have a big brand and a company comes and say, hey, we want to sponsor you or endorse you or whatever, and you say, okay, well, my value to make this post is X amount. My value to be in your commercial is X amount. But you can only do that if you have your numbers. I have this many followers across all platforms. I have this much engagement. I do this and this. What are y'all looking for? Y'all looking for leads? Or y'all looking for deals to close? Or y'all looking for exposure? Or y'all looking for we're not doing business. These kids aren't doing business. These kids are thinking money grow on trees.
Right. I've said that since it started. What value does a high school kid bring to my business? Bro, don't nobody know you? I said that.
Nobody know you.
Right, like we ain't gonna get into it, man. Like the Jaden Rashada stuff, we're not gonna get into that. But that blew my mind, bro.
even that situation, right? And I don't want to know the
Yeah.
specifics, right? But he's from what, Cali, right? California, something
Yeah.
like
Yes. I think
okay.
yeah.
He from the West Coast, right?
Yep.
Trying to go to an East Coast school.
Yep.
Don't nobody know you, bro.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank you.
nobody know you.
Thank you.
And you're basing this number you want as if you know what the revenue that they bring in is coming in.
Right.
So
Right.
now, if I know, yo, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna sell 50 million worth of jerseys. I'm
Yeah.
gonna sell 50 million of jerseys. I'm gonna bring in
Right.
these ticket sales, and then you
This is
sitting
good.
down and you talking like that. Okay, you got some
Right.
numbers.
Right.
Like, put like this: all these kids who want to go D1 because they want to play in a big stadium, right? Okay, well, how many people does your stadium seat? Okay, so
Yep.
that's 40,000. All right, cool. What's the lowest ticket amount? Okay, $100. So $100 times 40,000. What that is? Like 4 million, right? Or was it 40 million? Whatever the number is, right? I'm not doing math today. Do enough math all week.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
But if I know that the lowest ticket sells for $100 and we got 40,000, and I say, all right,
Yep.
for that, all right, cool. How many people are coming to see me? Okay, cool. Many people see me. All right.
That's good. That's good, bro. That's
So,
good.
so now I can say, yo, because y'all talking about signing me, y'all are selling out.
Yeah.
That's because of me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you were selling out before I came, I don't have no leverage in that
And no
space.
leverage. Yep.
All right, cool. I
This is
signed,
good.
and then y'all happen to get this high profile other athlete because I signed. That's a value.
Yeah.
I can put a number on that.
Right.
Because y'all wasn't getting him unless y'all got me.
Yeah, got me.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So now I can talk, a little bit more, little bit more firm, right? But then if you say, we got 6 home games. We got 6 home games, and I'm averaging 25,000 in jersey sales every game.
Right.
6 home games, this much. Oh snap! That's almost like 200,000.
Measurables.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you
Yep.
just saying I was a 5-star, bro, Rivals got a 5-star. I think On3 has a 5-star plus.
See, I didn't even know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So it's
I
like,
ain't know about the plus. I knew about the five. The plus, yeah, nah.
so what does
Right,
that matter? None of that
right,
matters. We're
right,
talking money. We're talking money.
right.
Nobody care about
Business,
them. Nobody care
business.
about that.
We talking business. That's what we talking. Yep.
And if I know this coach is on his last leg, bro,
Yeah.
bro might get fired.
Yeah.
So if I'm coming in, I'm saying, yo, I'm gonna perform so well that I'm gonna keep your job.
Right.
Word? Okay, let's talk.
We got a little something to talk
Let's
about.
talk.
Right. Right.
But if
Right.
you coming in like, oh, y'all need me, no, we don't. We don't need
Because
you, bro.
we just get another. We can get another one, dog.
Get another one. Just
We got 10 over there waiting right now.
bro.
Okay. So that leads me to another question. And it didn't make me think about it until 2 months ago. I had a coach call me. I'm not going to name his name. He said that we ain't offering the kid based off his parent. How much of a factor do parents play in the recruiting process? How big of a factor is it?
It is probably before the talent level.
Really?
Yeah.
You would trump it over the talent level.
Yeah. Cause look,
Okay.
If I show up to the high school, the first person I meet is the head coach.
Yeah.
And I'm only asking the coach what he believes about the personality.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna say, yo, how's his home life? He good? Like, oh yeah, man, he actually lives with grandma. Oh, okay. But uncle takes care of all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means I gotta go through uncle. All right. So now I go talk to uncle, and the first time uncle say something dumb like, how much money y'all giving him? the conversation is over with.
Over. We done. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Good luck.
Appreciate your time. Yeah.
And it's going to get worse because of the Rashada situation. Like when there's too many people in the mix and we can't even talk about, like, coaches coach and coaches like recruiters recruit.
Right.
So if I'm coming to recruit you, I don't do the NIL stuff. So let's talk about ball.
Right.
You asked me about money. That lets me know you did no research on our school and you think that we're getting this.
I'm glad that you brought that up. So you already know about the program I run, all the other type stuff. Okay. We took the kids on a visit to TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One of the things that I told the kids was, I said, make sure you have questions ready to go. Like you know about the school, this, and the other. Because when you said doing your research, you made me think of this. How much does that help or hurt a kid that doesn't know anything about the school? You coming out to recruit them, you've already sent out like the initial contact, you've done your work, y'all kind of had a few conversations back and forth, but the kid don't even know who the coaching staff is. He couldn't tell you who the head coach is. Like, dog, how big of a factor is that in the process?
That's a huge factor because I think that eliminates the portal, right? Like if these like know what they're getting into,
yeah,
they're not gonna show up. Like Fort Worth, Texas is nobody wakes up and say, I'm gonna move to Fort Worth.
Right.
And that's no knock on my people in that funky town, but
right.
Nobody says this is destination.
Yep.
But if I'm going to this school, I have to know what they produce, what they building, right? Yep. What kind of program they're bringing, because they might be getting away with a program that you interested in. So you might be interested in aerodynamics or whatever, right? And they're getting away with it. They're going away with it. And you show up because they had your major. Put that major on a chopping block because not enough people signed up. So now you're at this school, right? And this is the hardest thing that the parents need to understand. You're at this school, they just got rid of your major. You want to transition to a different school.
Mm-hmm.
That transcript you got has to have some value.
Right.
Which means you couldn't have taken classes that only applied to that school.
Yep.
Because now you're trying to transfer with 40 hours, and the 40 hours don't even apply to your degree now.
Yeah.
So now you got 40 hours of electives, which means your progress towards degree, it doesn't exist now. So now you got a choice. Do I just continue this major and be ineligible for a year? Or do I switch my major into something that's easy to get in, that's keep me eligible? Now I'm at school. Now I'm at school taking a major that has no future. And that's the research though. That's real life.
This is good. What you dropping? But it's almost been an hour. I done took too much of your time. I told you I got so many questions, dog. I got so many questions, bro. This is good. This is good because the parents need to hear this, dog. And like the way that you breaking it down, you telling them what it is, but you giving them a plan. Here's the action steps. Now you do with it what you may. I'm telling you, this is what they looking for. All right. Let me ask you a question because I just thought about this. I just wrote this down. You talked about being in the area, knowing where you're from, all this other type stuff. Is it true? I'll put it in a true or false question. Is it true that college coaches basically flock to the same schools? We might veer off here and there to an additional school. Might be a kid we want to go see, but overall, we've been to hit these 3 or 4 schools in Dallas. How big of a factor is that in the recruiting process?
That is 100% true for the big schools because they spot recruit.
Okay,
so I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to go see these 3 kids, right?
Gotcha.
Now, if the coach have a relationship with other guys in the area, they want to stop by and see them. It's love, right?
Yep.
But for the lower levels, they come and see all schools, right?
Okay.
But to answer that question, it is a true statement. Like why would I? Because recruiting budgets are a big thing. So if I'm spending X amount of dollars, I don't have time to come out here and kick it and go visit 15 schools when I'm not even, them kids ain't even on my board.
Right. Right.
So I don't need to fly into Dallas and go see any other program other than the ones that I'm looking at. Now,
Right.
here's the difference. A good recruiter, though, will
Yeah.
go and see every school.
Every school. Yeah.
Every school. So
Okay.
if I know there's only a handful of good recruiters, somebody in my community has to be a good connector who can reach
Mm.
out and say, hey, look, I know y'all are going to go see the Duncanville, Soto, Sock, Allen, South Lake.
Yep. South
I know that
Lake,
already. But
Alito.
I
Yep.
got a kid at PPT. Hey, check him out. This is what you did for me. Like, you shot me a message. Boom. You was like, hey, check this kid out.
Yep.
I don't have the power to make that call, but you got people in the space that you can send your kids' film out to.
Yep. Yep.
Now, after that, it ain't up to you.
Ain't nothing else I could do.
Once they watch the film, it's like, well, like them or I don't.
I gotta ask you a question. Oh, all right. I had a scenario where I had a kid that I sent some film out to. Okay. 3 schools.
Yeah.
FCS. All right. So, well, FCS and D1. All right. Come back, say, hey, man, we like his updated film. We want to get him to a camp. And there are some issues getting them to a camp because we don't know, we're going to waste our time getting off. Would you advise this kid to go to this camp if they're
Well,
asking
who said they gonna waste their time? The parents?
the parent? Reggie, please, 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 please. So let me repeat it just so you understand the question and it's very clear when I bring it up.
All right.
We had a scenario
Mm-hmm.
where film has been sent out to multiple schools, the connections that I have, hey man, check them out, no, that type stuff. Okay? 3 schools said we love the updated film, but basically, if I'm paraphrasing, we need to see him in person to validate what we
Yeah.
saw. Can he come? He'd be a camp guy for us. What would you advise the parent on in this situation?
You remember the
And
plan?
and the parent said, hold on, let me make sure I put this out there just in case anybody who's listening. And
Yeah.
the parent said that, well, we don't know if we should go. We want to make sure that we have a real chance at an offer. What would you say?
Remember the plan we talked about? Like, get your 2 throwaways, because they're watching the film and they're probably looking at the film like, he looks nice, but his competition is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Or he looks nice, but we want to see it in person, right?
Yeah.
You need to go. But if you feel you wasting time and you just want them to offer your kid, here's what I can do right now. And I can be at Alabama, Florida, it don't
Yeah.
matter. I can close my eyes, make me an offer graphic, give it to your kid right now.
Mm-hmm.
What does that matter?
Hey
What does
man,
that matter?
I'm just posing
What
the
does that matter?
question. I'm letting you answer the question.
So for a parents, and I'm say this with the utmost respect, parents have to start being adults.
Mm.
For you to get an offer, you're an adult. You have a job.
Yep.
The job didn't just give you an offer without interviewing.
You said it. You said it. I just asked the question. You gave the answer. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
We got to start being adults
Yep.
because your interview is the camp. Like, I like you. Hey, bro, apply, bro. Like, hey, man, I think you'll be a good fit for this role.
Yes.
Go apply.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Boom. You apply. That was coach sending out the film. Okay.
Yes.
Now they want to bring you in for an interview. The interview is, hey, we want to see him in camp. All right,
Yeah.
cool. You do the camp, and you might have to go through 3 rounds before they offer you. You might have to go 3 times for them to offer you. Do you really think it's a waste of gas to keep driving to Google the interview if the payoff can be 6 figures?
You said it. I've just asked the question.
Like we just have to really get back to the basics of reality. You're going to college. You're not going to football. You're going to college. So, one, do you like this drive? You already just told me that you don't like the drive because you didn't want to take off because you didn't want to waste your time. That means the drive and the travel isn't feasible for you. So that means if your kid goes to this school, is it a waste of time for you to go watch the games if they don't play?
Well, you being a little too real. Hey, dog, you being a little too real, man.
That's
good, bro. It's good. It's real.
We just gotta start being honest with our kids. And if your kid, all he has is FCS, or all he has is D2, or all he has is D3, or he don't have nothing, let's be real and say, okay, all is not lost, but let's work this plan. Let's work this lane, right? Like if you're trying to buy a new house and all you can afford is $500,000, why are we going to look at the $1 million homes?
Right. That's good, man. That's good.
Like, all right. We have to start being adults. Like, start being adults.
You're right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try and make this the last question. I'm gonna do my best. I can't make no promises. All right. So look. So you know about the program, my national team program, where we run, how we're bridging the gap with kids. Right. We didn't have 6 guys get offered. We just had our one kid that just signed with Missouri Southern. Okay.
Nice.
All right. There's 3 things that I tell the parents that they need to look for in any type of program, whether you go to Allen, Southlake, whatever. Okay. And it's kind of coincides with how recruiting is changing. All right, how the level of football, how all the football is changing in front of our eyes. Right, the way guys are getting recruited, high school football is changing now. All this, and I say you need to have an understanding of the transfer portal. You need to understand how this works, okay, and how it affects your kid. You need to have the player development. I always say that as far as the skill set needs to be able to translate to the next level. If they cannot see your skill set, if they cannot see that thing translating to the next level, then they're not going to offer you that kind of thing. Also, onboard film, classroom, all that's part of the player development. But I always tell them this. You need to be somewhere where there's access to a coaching network. Those 3 things. With the way that football is changing, with the way that high school players are being evaluated and recruited, what would you tell these parents that want to transfer schools, that want to approach different opportunities? Do they need to look at outside programs like what I got? Do they need to transfer to private schools? Do they need to transfer to the Allens, the South Lakes, the Duncanvilles, the Sotos of the world? What would you tell them based off those 3 things I told them? Was I correct in those 3 things that I told them? And what advice would you give them as far as getting their kid in front of the best opportunity to be seen?
Yeah, 100% spot on, right? But I'll also add on that. So if you're already in high school and you want to transfer, let that be your only time you transfer.
Okay.
If you want to go to your high school and not play for your high school but play for PPT, let PPT be the only team you play for.
Okay.
Simply because you don't want to show red flags that you're a transferring lunatic, right? Like
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, if you at this school this week and I got film from this program this week and I got this, I don't have time to keep up with all that, right?
Right.
And if you're not in high school and I'm doing research on the schools in my district, we got to go back to being adults. What is the school like in my district?
Yeah.
I'm zoned for this school. What is it like? Okay, is this something that's going to fulfill our plan?
Yeah.
Got to have a plan. So I'm not going to be in 8th grade, show up to a school and just think coaching them going to get me to college. Because newsflash, here's the reality. It ain't in the government system to get you to college. So it ain't in the job description for a high school coach to get you to school. Yeah. That ain't their job.
Yes.
Now, a program like a PPT that's specifically focusing on getting kids to college, that's their job. You would not go to a foot doctor saying my shoulder hurts.
Shoulder hurts. Thank you.
So if I'm going to do a PPT, I'm not looking at it from a traditional standpoint. I'm like, yo, this is what they do. This is my goal. So I'm gonna just play for the PPT and follow their plan because there's no like if you look at hockey, the volleyball, baseball, they don't get signed
Yes.
from high school.
Thank you. Yes.
So why do you think you have to go to your high school if it's not conducive to your
Thank
goal?
you.
Now,
Thank you.
if you just going to high school because this is family tradition and this is what y'all do,
And I get to play with my friends.
cool.
Yeah.
But if my goal is to do this, I gotta go where the fastest route is this. Like I don't have time to play around because I only got 4 years to get another 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't play around with 4 years. That flies. So I can't be playing around saying, you know what, I'm gonna just see what Coach Buckley gonna do. And he's gonna get me in the mix and he knows somebody and knows somebody.
Conversations, bro. That's what they say. Yes, man.
Let me tell you,
yes, bro.
The hardest reality is to think that your high school coach has the bandwidth to teach history,
yes,
biology,
yes,
coach you,
yes,
and help you get recruited.
Yes.
As a parent, you don't even have time to do it, and you got one job, and I'm your child.
Right.
You got 2 kids, one of them play sports, and you can't do all the work that's needed. So you think Buddy, who got 150, got time?
And he's the athletic director, and he got to worry about soccer travel to this game, this that. Yeah, bro, hey man, you know what? We're gonna end it right there. That's how we go. That's how we gonna end it, dog. Because I can ask you 10 more questions. All right, man. So look, let's close it out like this, man. If you had to give your parting words, if there's anything that you would say, like, hey man, if you don't remember anything that I said in this interview, remember this. What would you tell the players and parents?
Don't focus on how you gotta do it, but find the people who can help you get there. Right? I think we spend a lot of time on trying to find out how to do it. Just find the people who are doing it and let them be your who. Like there's a book called Who Not How. Read it. I promise you. The more time you spend trying to figure out how, you're gonna waste time. Go find the who and say, hey, look, this is my goal. I see you do this. Help me out.
Yep.
And then follow that plan. Because if you could do it yourself, you would have did it already. Right.
Yep.
And if the high school systems, and this is on a PPT note, and I'm plugging my dog because you're my boy. If the high school systems was set up as a real pipeline, you wouldn't be having the gripes you're having about high school. That's not their system. That ain't it. That IMG, yes. Bishop Gorman, yes.
Yeah.
Your local high school in the middle of the neighborhood, no, it's not. That's their job. That's not what they do. That's not a who, right? You're gonna be in
that's
high
good,
school,
man.
Trying to figure out how your 4 year, how, and then you get to the end, and then you finally accept the who. And it's too late.
Too late. Too late. This good, bro.
Find your who immediately and work the plan, and whatever it costs, you pay it because the longer you take, the more it costs.
Yep. Whether now or later.
Yep.
Well, look, man, this is Reggie Calhoun Jr., man. I told y'all one of the smartest people that I know. You know what I mean? And I think we got every question that I get asked all the time answered in this, man. I appreciate it. That's another episode of the Coach's Corner, man. See y'all on the next one.